with anything you've learned in your life, you've effectively gone through this ladder, these 4 steps on a ladder. Let's take, for example, learning to drive a car, which hopefully everybody in this room has now mastered. When you're 4 years old, dribbling in the back of your parents' car, what do you know about driving? Nothing. Do you know you don't know? No. You're unconsciously unskilled. You don't know that you don't know, which is another way of saying you're ignorant. You don't know you don't know. Then when you're about 10, 11 years old, which one of those 2 things changes? Your skill or your consciousness? Yeah. Now you're consciously unskilled. Now you know you don't know. You have awareness. Then when you're 16, 17, 18, 19, move your hands and your feet hopefully in the right order and the right way. Which one changes now? Consciously skilled. So practice. When you practice what you've been taught, evade pedestrians and telegraph poles, you can drive. You're consciously skilled. When you practice what you've learned, you can drive well. What happens when you've been driving for, like many of you, 10, 20, 30 years? You ever have that experience where one moment you're in your office, the next minute you're at home, and you don't even remember getting in the car? Now you are unconsciously skilled. You have achieved mastery. And we have mastered many, many, many things in our life. Walking is an example. We gave the example of the child. So let me ask you, where are very senior executives, where do they spend most of their time? Where are they most comfortable, do you think? Here, which is a bit to Will's point. We like to look like, we stick with the things that we do really, really, really well. It's, you know, you'll see it show up, for example, if the CFO gets promoted to the CEO, they tend to keep, you know, they're very confident with the financials and they tend to overbear on the CFO. That's a common example, right? They're comfortable with the numbers and that means they don't have to really be a CEO. They can just manage the spreadsheets. Mastery. Where's the other level do you think that CEOs spend their time? Let's finish this off first. Yeah. Blocking out the things that we don't want to fixate our time on. Now let me ask you another question. Where does learning happen? Where does growth happen? Is that comfortable? Knowing what you don't know and practicing what you don't know? Is that comfortable? No, it's uncomfortable, right? By nature, it is uncomfortable. And so the trick to, if you are trying to perfect the craft, you will need to lean into the things that make you uncomfortable. That's how you perfect a craft over time. And you can't perfect a craft unless you are prepared to acknowledge and accept your imperfections, whether it be on a particular task or whether it be on embracing some things about your personality that maybe you'd rather other people don't know. That is the pathway. That is how you stop trying to puff yourself up and pretend that you're in control of it all. And that's how you focus on perfecting the craft. Now, here's the thing that you will find when you start doing that. Perfectionism is driven, as I said before, by fear and insecurity, to what we call a security orientation. Perfecting the craft is driven by a satisfaction orientation. It's driven by an achievement motivation. And that's, once we get into it, perfecting anything becomes a source of enjoyment, fun, learning, as soon as you reframe what it is you are trying to do.